All right, 6 5 show, episode 6, Don't Die Clothing. The first time I heard of this brand, I was sitting outside a San Francisco bar, club, restaurant sort of deal, going to shoot for somebody's birthday, take some photos, and I was scrolling through Instagram. One of my homies popped up, Spaced Out Mars, and he reposted
Mm.
somebody's brand. Right, and usually, you see somebody on somebody else's story, you keep scrolling, you keep tapping, but I was like, "Yo, let me see what this person's talking about." And she was talking about how she felt like she had to post because if she didn't post, the algorithm would never find her or her brand. What she was doing was fairly important. So I was like, "You know what? This is dope. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to follow the brand. I wanna see what's up." Ashma, Don't Die Clothing. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. How was the intro? Did you like it?
I did like it. I didn't know, well, I didn't know exactly where you were when you found me. I was guessing it's because of Space Out Mars. Shout out to him. Hold on.
Mm,
Thank you. Um, but yeah, no, I liked hearing their perspective. And I don't remember the post where I said about the algorithm, but it sounds like something I would say.
no, I'm glad I'm not a liar. I'm glad it sounds like something you would say, but,
Mhm.
20% donation to suicide prevention causes. Talk to me a little bit about that. Where'd that come from? Where did the 20% come from?
20%, okay. So 20% of the profits are donated to San Francisco Suicide Prevention. That came from that was there from the beginning of the brand, but the 20% came from I felt like 10% wasn't like as much as I could do
Mm,
and just to make a little bit of dent. And I'm still a small business, so I'm like for now it's 20%. When I grow bigger, obviously I want to donate more, but that's where it came from.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
And why suicide prevention? Why does that hit home for you?
Damn, I said damn like I don't expect people to ask me that with the brand.
Oh, I'm sorry. The
No,
crazy
no,
questions coming out.
no, that's not what I meant. But, suicide prevention, well, growing up, I grew up in India. I was
Mm,
born in Fremont, I grew up in India, and I started dealing with depression and suicide ideation at, like, 12 years old. And in India, nobody really talks about mental health and nobody really cares um, because the pressure that the kids have there is way different than pressure kids have here. And there's no resources there where, or when I was 12, that's what I thought. But then we moved back to the US and I was still dealing with a lot of depression and suicide ideation. And then I finally asked for help. My parents were they were really supportive because usually Indian parents are not. Indian parents are like, "Listen, it is what it is. Move on. You're good." But I'm so glad that they listened.
mm,
And by the time I was in, I think senior in high school, I used to work at Michael's, so I got 30% off of all like whatever there was. And I don't know why, but I picked up shirts and paints
mm.
and I just started painting "Don't Die" on things. And, I'm cleaning out my stuff because 'cause I'm moving out, and I just found a pair of pants, the first pair of pants that um, put "Don't Die" on. But I started doing that, and slowly, I didn't realize I could make, like, a clothing brand out of it,
Mhm.
and people were wanting to buy that from the beginning, so I was like, "Maybe I could do something about with this." And what's better than having that, creating a platform for yourself, and then helping others with that, you know? So that's why suicide prevention.
No, that's dope. That's dope. And like again, like your message is important. How does it feel like to have your message blasted on like these platforms, as in like I don't know, maybe New York Times Square sort of deal?
Oh, insane.
Insane.
I couldn't capture my whole, like, reaction because it went by so fast, but just seeing the logo up there, That was so insane because growing up watching movies, seeing New York City, you know how that's such a big deal. Times
Mhm,
Square is a big deal, and I didn't imagine that something I created would be on there.
mhm.
It was pretty dope. It was pretty sick. I I'm still processing that.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. This episode themed off of your most recent drop from the
Mhm.
Digital Love zip ups, one that you are wearing currently right now. Digital Love, go cop the art, go support the artist. Definitely. You just came back from what I assume to be an invite only Russ event.
Come on.
Talk
What?
talk a little bit about that one. Yeah, I know
Russ!
a Russ super fan in the house, right?
Hey, yo, shout out to okay, so shout out to Russ Cord because
Mhm,
he has this Discord community, and he tweeted about it, and I was like, "I don't know what the hell this is." So I clicked on it, and it's a whole ass there's, like, 22,000 people on it, but yeah, crazy, right? But
mhm,
Russ, he has a high caliber. You would expect that kind of pull, but,
mhm,
um Russ started talking about his because he would go live on those in Discord.
yeah,
So I don't know, it's something called the stage. So he would go on
okay,
stage, usually not showing his face, but it's him just talking to us. And he was talking to us about Santiago, his new album, which comes out August 18th. Not
okay,
like
free promo to Russ.
what? Um, so I started being active in that community because I love Russ. So and then he started talking about Santiago, and then he started talking about these events that he's trying to have, like album listening. And so it finally like started happening, the rollout started happening, and then he selected 15 people from Discord to come because the only way you could get invited is if you buy vinyl or digital albums,
Mhm,
and that's the pool you can get selected from, or if Russ personally invites you.
okay,
But, I was one of the 15 people he chose,
okay,
and that's how I was able to go, and I wore my hoodie like, here's the thing, I feel like take any chance you can get to promote yourself, right? That's something he really talks about, and I was kinda nervous to do that, but I wore my latest drop. I tried to give it to him, but it didn't get to him, so I'm gonna shoot my shot again with that. My one of my friends is going to the Atlanta one, so hopefully, fingers crossed.
okay.
Um, but yeah, no, that was so insane, and the album in itself is everything that I want the brand to be, healing and spreading mental health awareness, um, and not just with one like, just because 'cause I'm a woman doesn't mean I'm just only preaching women's mental health. I think mental health is something everybody needs to, take seriously, men and women, but but yeah, that's how everything happened, I guess.
No, that's dope, that's
Right.
dope, and yeah, I don't think anybody's too big for mental health or anybody's too cool for chapstick, like we were saying a little bit earlier,
Come on
so,
now. Yeah. Necessary things.
yeah,
Mental health is necessary.
mental health and chapstick, mental health and chapstick. You were also in the recap video that he posted about the event that, I think it's at, like, 10.6 million views or something, and you're in it.
Damn, is it?
Yeah, yeah. That's a little bit of a digital footprint, from a little bit of a digital footprint live from Russ himself. How does
Yeah,
that feel?
love from that was, when I saw myself in it, I was like, "Oh my god, I made it." I made it in the video.
Russ posted me, I can go now, like, what?
Like,
Everything that I'm
what?
trying to do
Come
is
on,
done.
link in bio, you know?
Yes. Link in bio, no, big drip, big drip. Yeah, I think Russ is dope because his original, I don't even know if you can call it a content strategy, but his original way that he blew up was that he decided that when he was dropping music, you
Yeah,
know, people were listening to a lot of like the first couple of tracks, right? People would check out
yeah,
the first couple of tracks of his songs, right? So he's like, maybe I should stop dropping these like longer compilation albums and maybe focus on singles. So what he did,
that was
he
that was
dropped
smart.
52 singles in a year, right? For 52 weeks,
Mhm.
ended up blowing up. Um, he talks about really consistency and kind of
Mm.
believing in yourself. You've been sort of consistent too, posting every day. How do you keep that consistent grind going?
Oh, shoot. I think, I was on TikTok once.
Mm,
I'm always on TikTok, not once, but I
okay.
was on TikTok, and one of Russ's videos, came up on my, For You page, and it was him saying, "You just don't want it bad enough," and I was like,
Mm.
"Don't call me out."
Personal
You
attack?
want
What?
it.
You don't know me. Yeah.
I don't want it bad enough. But the thing is, that really clicked with me because I was like, "You're right. If I really wanted it that bad, like I'm saying I want it, my actions would prove that." And
Mm,
then I started watching a lot of his podcasts, interviews that he did, and I started reading his book, and something about consistency and delusion mixed together
mm,
can get you far. So that's the kind of the mentality I was working off, being consistent. And honestly, I have seen the difference in doing so. So that's good. It's not like I'm being consistent and the needle is not moving. Sometimes it feels like that.
mhm,
But that's why I don't know if you've seen, but every time I hit a certain, even a small milestone, I try to celebrate that on my story because just to like celebrate those small wins that will eventually lead to the big wins. So that's sort of like the mentality behind me being consistent.
yeah. I mean, people often don't see like every single thing we do on social media. They might catch a few posts here and there, but they you can't catch any posts if you never post. You
Exactly. You
know,
don't know which post is gonna blow up
you
either.
don't. You don't. Like,
If I knew that,
yeah,
my strategy would be different.
yeah, everybody's with the like they if you can control, which posts got more engagement than other posts. Obviously, there's ads and stuff, but if we're rolling off of trust the algorithm, um,
Organic.
yeah, trust the organic algorithm, and you could choose. And it takes a little bit of the obviously the guesswork, but it also takes a little bit of the excitement out of it. Of going
Exactly.
viral or somebody
True.
reposting you.
Oh yeah. You never know whose eyes are gonna see you, especially on TikTok. Even though I've been stuck at 200 views,
Yeah, TikTok
and
algorithm might be the worst algorithm.
I know I love Instagram right now. That's the platform I've been most consistent on for sure.
But you've also had like a lot of collaboration, a lot of support from like who I assume to be your friends, your homies, people that you go and shoot content with and go on these trips and support your brand. How does that feel?
It honestly, I've I've s- I received a lot of love from my friends for sure, especially ones from high school. They've seen it literally from painting on t-shirts to actualizing it into actual products
Mhm,
into this, and then it's at some point it feels very lonely because you don't because it's just you, right? It's just you working everything, you're doing everything. But once I see that support, it means the world. Like you're willing to come to shoots with me, you're willing to just share the post,
mhm,
and you don't have to buy it. But one of my best friends, she has every drop that I've dropped. So love like that means a lot. Like, because if I was on this journey alone, and I only had the online community, I feel like I feel very lonely still, you
mhm,
know? I think it's really important to have the homies that you trust and love support you because sometimes people are around just for, taking advantage of you and stuff, but you got to weed those out.
mhm.
And yeah. So yeah, feels great. I will say that.
Okay, no, feels great, feels great. Everybody loves the love. Everybody loves the love.
Exactly.
Alright. You ready for some hyper tight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hyper tight, digital love edition. If you think it's hype again, hype is a fad. Hype is this is this is something that is blown up out of proportion for no reason.
Mm.
Tight is dope, cool, underrated.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna go rapid fire. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
ask you hyper tight, something,
Mhm.
digital love based. You're gonna give me your opinion on it. And then I'm
Okay.
gonna ask you why. You're gonna answer why, and we're gonna keep going. All right.
Okay.
All right. Hyper tight, digital love edition. dating apps hyper tight.
Hype.
Why?
Absolutely not. I think people it's hard to meet people organically, so what I've seen people complain about,
Mm,
but I feel like apps in general make you think like there's a fake intimacy, you know? So I think it's hype. I think it's hype.
okay. On the
We'll
same fake intimacy level, having affection for video game characters or maybe people you only see online, hyper tight.
Mm, shit. Could be hype. I would say
Mm,
hype.
okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Mhm. Because it's not really real, because then at the end of the day, when you turn things off, where do you go? You know? Who do you have around you?
Mm,
And you're
mm.
lonely. But then again, when you are lonely, you have that. So it's like, who am I to
Double-edged
say?
sword.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. What about the dislike button on Twitter that we saw momentarily? Hyper tight.
Twitter in general, let's talk about that. Twitter in general, hype. X, hype. I
Mhm.
don't even open that. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Elon needs to stick to cars. Also, Elon, don't watch this.
Elon, if you know Russ, don't watch this. Don't watch this. Um, what about thirst traps on social media? Hyper tight.
Mm, hype.
Okay. Why?
Mhm. Why? It depends why you're doing it. If you're doing it just for the attention, it's hype. If you're doing it because you genuinely like how you look and you don't really care who's harding it and sliding up, then I would have said tight, but I'm gonna say hype. Keep things to yourself. You
Okay.
know?
Give
Mhm.
it to yourself. And last but not least, AI generated love letters. So imagine you're trying to write a love letter or a poem to somebody and you're using like a chat GPT. Hyper tight.
And it's just for the love letter.
It's just for the love letter.
Dang, that's hype because if it's a love letter, you expect it to be from somebody's heart
Hmm.
that they're writing through. Yeah. I don't want if I'm receiving it, I don't want very like, "Dear lover." You know?
Dear lover. Nah, hey, okay.
So I
Okay.
feel like things like that, it has to come from your heart, and if
Okay.
you're just not that person, do like, represent yourself in the letter, right? If you're
Mm,
not gonna love you, just be that, like and the person receiving it, they probably know that from you, so it's the
yeah.
effort that counts.
Okay.
Right?
But
I
if
say
you
hi.
like proofread it with love though, like, ah, no, I wouldn't say that. Like, I would say this.
Um, dang. Imma still say hi.
Okay.
Hold on to my hands, like, I wanna know how you're really feeling. I don't want an AI to tell me how you're feeling.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I try to get a hype or I try to get a type out of you, but didn't work.
Not anymore.
Everything thought maybe it was just bad questions. Maybe it was just
Just
bad questions.
no,
We
no,
chalk it up
no.
to that. We'll chalk it up to that. But
And it'd be like, digital love zip up, hyper tight.
oh, I okay. Digital loves it up. Hyper tight.
Tight. Let's go.
We cheated, but we got there. We cheated, but we
I
got there.
know.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yep.
promoting yourself, right?
Oh, if you're not gonna do it, then who is? Right?
Exactly. You get
100%. 100%. This has been another episode of the 6 5 show. Go grab the art, digital love, zip up edition. It's
Thank you for
everywhere.
having me.
No, no, it's all good. It's all good. Do you have anything else to say to the people?
Um, take care of your mental health
Mm,
and don't die.
take care of your mental health and don't die. All right.
Thank you.
It's peace and love, everybody. Peace.
Huh, I don't know what to say.
You can do like a thumbnail. I'm gonna keep it rolling. You can do like a thumbnail. What do you want to be the thumbnail?
What if I did this or this?
Okay, it's still recording. So whatever you whatever you want to do, I'll take
Okay,
it.
here,
I'll
I'll do it.
frame.
I'll do this. Can't even see it. Okay.